All right, ladies and gentlemen, part 2 is coming to you right now with Mr. Tyler Mullins. I think we had a pretty good first part to this. In my opinion, I think it was one of the better ones. I really enjoyed recording with him, and it seemed to have a lot of traction. So I appreciate everybody listening to part 1, and I'm not going to extend this out any further. Without further ado, let's get into it. Part 2, here we go. Welcome, everybody, to the Hounds Tales podcast. This is your home for field trialing and deer dog hunting. It'll be stories and discussions on the world of dog hunting. So let's drop the gate, cast your hounds, and get ready for another episode of the Hounds Tales podcast. When it's time to get ready for a field trial, deer season, or any other reason that you need to load up that dog box and you're in need of dog hunting supplies, look no further than Outdoor Dog Supply. Outdoor Dog Supply is the leader in online Garmin sales as well as the leader in Garmin and Tritronics trade-in programs. From GPS system to dog training aids to vitamins and supplements and everything in between. Put your trust in Outdoor Dog Supply. Super fast delivery, superior customer service, and a dedication to our sport. We are proud to partner with Outdoor Dog Supply and can't thank them enough for everything that they do for our sport. Visit their website today at outdoordogsupply.com or shoot them a call at 757-482-1000 for any of your hound hunting needs. Thank you, Outdoor Dog Supply.
Hey man, it's fun reminiscing on old stuff. You get caught up in it, that's for sure.
I love it. Keep it rolling, brother.
But now those dogs when they were hunting, man, was kind of like your credit card. You couldn't leave it at the house. You know, if you needed gas or something, you had to make sure you had some money on you. But
that's right.
I had a pile of fun with those dogs. I had a pile of fun. I learned a lot. They taught me a whole lot more than I taught them. But man, it was fun, you know, hauling anything. It still is. I can take Mary Kate tomorrow to a deer race and have a great time. It's just I don't get to do it but so much no more. And I've got puppies off of them and everything. And I've still got the lines there, but
right.
I was younger. I wanted to hunt 16 hours a day, and they did too. So we had a pile of fun.
That's right. That's right. Now, you mentioned Black Bear too. You know, I know he just recently passed away, but you were breeding the crap out of him, and it looks like he's been throwing some pretty good dogs. I know even MJ still has some Black Bears over there that are right daggone tough dogs. I know that much. You know, they may not have the field trial record behind them right now, but daggone it, they are just tough, man.
Yeah. He was, Black Bear's problem was that he was too big. Mm-hmm. For me, it's, and again, I didn't know jack shit. I still don't know but so much, but Black Bear, he was a great dog. He, from the time he was a puppy, that sucker could run him.
Right.
I mean, I never forget. I took it litter to Brandon Wisdom when he was running a little puppy pen down there for Riddick's. Mm-hmm. And I told Brandon, I said, look, man, I'm so busy with work. I can't get them for like 3 weeks. Can you hunt them? And he called me about 2 weeks after having them. And he said, you need to come get these things. I said, what are you talking about? He said, I'm running them in the morning by themselves, and the male won't shut up, so I'm turning him back loose in the evening, and he's looking good with the group of puppies I'm running in the evening. And that was the first group of dogs that I had when you got them back from the breaking pen. About 3 weeks later, they were ready to go to a puppy hunt and ready to win a puppy hunt.
Wow.
They were hard on themselves. He was a great big dog. He put hurt a lot. He barked a lot.
Right.
And sometimes not in the perfect place, and I'll give him that. You know, don't hide it all. But he got up there in age, and I heard him. He tore all ligaments in his feet. He busted a shoulder when he was young. It's just a lot of dog trying to do too much. He was running like his mama, and his mama was 21 inches, and he was 27 inches. So he got broke up, and I told MJ one day at the dog lot, I had some gyps coming in heat, and I said, man, shit on it. I said, I breed everybody else's dogs, and I always think that mine aren't good enough. And a lot of times maybe they aren't good enough and won't reproduce, but I took a shot on him and bred him to some good gyps, and I've had some good puppies, man. I've made, the black bear puppies that I know of, there have been Well, I mean, ain't gonna be no more. But
Right.
out of the black bear puppies there are, I think there's 3 bench champions, a field champion, and a dual champion.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably didn't have 8 litters, 10 litters maybe.
Yeah, I was wondering how many it was. I mean, I know you kind of right there before he passed away. You kind of, it seemed like a few more people were going to him, but I didn't know how many he actually had that actually, were on the ground and stuff. So
Yeah, I'm not that good with keeping up with that stuff. I know it was under 10.
I got you.
And I think 4 or 5 of those were mine. And I mean, I had some super luck with them, man. I got the second cross Black Bear and Harley at the house, and I got 3 of them left. 2 gyps and a male.
Yeah.
I like the shit out of them.
Yeah.
They're not for everybody. They're good built, classy looking suckers, and they got mouths and they can run him. But I like them. I don't know what else I'd do with them, but.
I know me and you had talked before he passed away. That was I was going to take that heartbreaker gyp to him, and unfortunately never got around to doing that. But
shit happens, bro.
Yeah, that was definitely in the cards. That's for sure.
That's right. No, I made first cross I made. Well, I think about third cross I made when I bred him to Harley, and I was fortunate enough to win the American Invitational with one of those.
That's right.
And this second cross, I got a gyp that I like just as much as her, if not better. And she just made bench champion, and I mean she's been in the driver's seat of the other 3 hunts she's been in. She just can't seal the deal.
Gotcha.
She's a nice jet.
What was the dog
we'll see how they
won the
turn out.
Invitational with?
Little Mule's Bailey.
Bailey, that's right.
Right. She was a Black Bear and Harley.
Yep. You still got her?
Oh yeah, she's at the house now with taking care of some 8-week-old John Deere puppies.
Very nice. Very nice. That
She's
could be
hanging
dangerous.
out. It could be. We'll see. We will see.
So you got any other honorable mention dogs out there, before we move on to the next little talking point? Any other dogs that that really stuck out to you?
Of mine, no. I mean, I got a pile of buddies favorite to hunt around.
Yeah.
People will say that I forget them and stuff like that, but I mean, you've already talked about them in another episode.
That's
but
right.
man,
That's
I've hunted, like I said, 15, 16 years. Shout out to Jay Bird and what he did with those dogs, man. I was able to watch them in their prime, before their prime, and after their prime.
Right.
It's a phenomenal group of dogs. I've never seen a group of dogs like that.
Mm-hmm.
Since I've seen some close, and I won't say that I haven't seen something like that, but for the longevity that those dogs had, just between regular, Big Eddie, and Sexy, I mean, it was complete and utter domination for an extended period of time. And people can say what they want. They saw them go down and they saw them do this, but a lot of people base them off of percentages. Yeah. Those 3 dogs right there had a higher percentage of beating your ass than you did beating theirs when they were at the field trial.
Right. I know, not being in the sport for so long, there's 2 groups of dogs, that I know of, very close, that I wish I could have watched. That's one of them, and those gyps that Dennis Scott had. I really wish I could have got to see them run, because you even mentioned it earlier. You talk to anybody, if you bring up his name, and that's the 3, those dogs, that little group right there, are the ones that everybody knew and everybody remembered, at least around here. It may not have been nationwide that, but man, around here, everybody talked about how good that little group he had was.
Oh yeah, he didn't have no problem taking them hunting, and them gyps didn't mind going hunting either.
That's right.
Dennis was tough when he showed up. You didn't have to worry about thinking you were outlasting Dennis when he was there until them gyps got older, because hours wasn't a problem for him. But
that's right.
But no, I've been able to witness some great dogs, and I mean, a lot of my buddies have had some really good dogs that I've seen run, but. I have to give credit where credit was due. That litter of Jay Bird's probably the nicest ones that I've seen in my time.
How's my birthday cake Gyp doing over there? How's she doing?
And birthday cake is just birthday cake, and man, she's the kennel pet. She doesn't bark in a lot. She's never barked in a lot. She's very polite and everything. She's got a better track record than most. She didn't do shit in Canada. I withdrew her after 2 days, but everybody says, every time a dog has a bad hunt, what's wrong with them? There ain't a damn thing wrong with that gyp. She's avert fire most places you can go, and I've placed her. I mean, I've HGA'd or GTP'd that dog in 5 hunts now, multiple day hunt. That's 4 hunts in 3 different facilities.
Yeah, I know she's been super consistent for you.
Yes, she's a great gyp. Field trial and everything. She's smart as a tack.
Right.
Her brother's just as damn good, but they're I hope they'll stay around for a while. I hope they'll compete for another year because I'm running out of real estate and dogs that are going to keep doing what they've been doing for me.
That's right.
I hope they can tote the load for a little bit.
I think that's the one I tried to get off of you when they were like like fresh litter, if I remember right.
Yep.
I tried my damnedest, and you wouldn't come off of her.
No, I'm hard-headed enough to hang on to a white. I had learned from the first few crosses to hang on to a Harley Jip.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
I know. At the end of the day, they may not be exceptional, but they'll probably be pretty good.
That's right.
Yep.
So, I want to talk about something else real quick. We'll move into the next topic. One of the things when I was getting into field trialing and more specifically into the 3-day world, when I first got into it, I would just, man, if I got a wild hair, I seen one pop up on Facebook or on Speed Dogs or whatever, and I saw it and I had a free weekend, I was going. It didn't have to make sense, didn't need to make sense. It just, if I had the extra money and I thought I could go, I was going. And obviously that was 1 days, and I was doing kind of the same thing with 3 days. It didn't matter.
Yep.
One of the things I learned from you that you taught me, and it's really stuck to me, was planning your year out. I mean, I remember very specifically, you having a conversation, God, I think it was year before last. Maybe it was last year. I can't remember. And I was like, what's your next hunt? And you laid out the whole freaking year. You knew exactly where you were going with what you were going with, and that's how it was. And that really stuck to me. Where did that come from? What that process, what brought you to doing that?
Man, like I said, I've been doing this a little bit longer. I grew up around some good dog men, and I know when I talk in this podcast, I'm gonna leave 37 people out, and I do apologize because I forget what I had for breakfast yesterday. Right. But a couple things that stuck with me because I hunted around Derek Wooten. Derek was a great kennel partner. He taught me a shitload. Now I've learned a lot more past him as things have changed, but Derek was stern, and when Derek showed up back in the day with 6 or 8 head, you had to outrun him.
Right.
And so me being around him, I got to be around Chris Wright and Larry Tomlin.
Okay, yeah.
Two of the biggest things that I remembered that I took with me, and it bleeds into some of the stuff I'm saying, though, is Larry Tomlin told me back in the day, if you want a 3-day, boy, and you want to do it right, he said, to get a dog right from scratch is 8 weeks. Okay. You can't do it overnight. You can't have him ready because it's a big difference. These boys out here run two 1-days a week or some shit. You can leave that some bitch in a lot for 3 weeks and take him to a 1-day and win. It's a different stroke for different folks, and I'd rather have him rested than outrun. But if you want a 3-day, it's got to take a while. Yep. So you can't take him straight off a deer season where you run him 5 times a week for 6 weeks and expect him to be right 3 weeks later. You got to get him right. Or you can't take it for a dog that's coming off puppies. It's going to take them 2 months to get right. So with that, Larry Tomlin always told me 8 weeks. If you want him from start to finish, it's going to take 8 weeks.
Okay. That makes sense.
Chris Wright always told me, you have to pick your hunts. You can't just go. You can't jump. And everybody can jump. There's different strokes for different folks. I know a lot of people that field trial every damn weekend at Billy Pools, and that's what they want to do, and more power to them because they probably have success and have fun. I know a pile of people that do this stuff, and they go just to hang out with their friends. They give a shit less what the dogs do. But,
Right.
It's all in what you want to do. I wanted to compete, and once I was able to get a job enough to where I could afford to feed and take care of a dog the right way.
Right.
One, learn how to do it.
Yeah.
Another thing I'll say is, anybody listening that wants to learn, find the people or guy that's kicking your ass competitively week in and week out, or once a month, or when you show up, he's hard to beat. Figure out what he's doing. Just pick his brain or something. A lot of these people aren't really assholes. They're set in their ways. And if you sit back and listen and learn, you can learn something.
The Hounds podcast is proud to partner with Cajun Lights, who have jumped on board to support the field trialing community. Do you have nighttime field trials? Pleasure running at night? When you need to catch that next crossing at night, put your trust in Cajun Lights. Cajun Lights is a made-in-America product out of North Carolina who has been in business for over 25 years. These are cap-style and bucket hat headlamps to free up that extra hand for your voice recorder or your GPS. Whether it's the Cajun Micro Gator for those late-night feeds, the cost-efficient Cajun Bayou for pleasure running, or the top-level Cajun Blinder for field trials, never miss a thing with these amazing lights. All the lights come with a 2-year warranty and a lifetime labor warranty. These guys are excited to get into our sport, ladies and gentlemen, so be sure, if you see me at a hunt, come ask me about them. I'll have one of each style on hand ready to show you. You can visit their website at CajunLights.com, and their phone number is 888-773-3080. Thank you, Cajun Lights, for coming on board with the Hounds Tales podcast. Now let's get back to the show. Exactly.
But Chris Wright told me, he said he'd been picking his hunts for years. One, he picked organizations, ones that he knew were going to have a good amount of judges,
right,
good running facility, or something that would suit his dogs.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, Chris always wanted a hard-headed dog that would hunt till the sun come up.
Mm-hmm.
And don't let him fool you. Chris had a dog that could run something.
Right.
You know, he always said he was there to out-hunt you and stuff, but I was there when he won the Invitational with Andy. I told him he was going to win it the last day because I saw the dog first and second day, and he looked phenomenal.
Right.
He always picked his hunts based off of his dogs.
Gotcha.
So what I tried to do 5 years ago was, instead of jumping the gun and going to one, is sit back and say, does this hunt fit my dogs?
Mm-hmm.
Are my dogs going to be in shape for this? Are my dogs going to be healthy? And, you know, they're going to be enough judges and stuff, which are, you know, different pens don't need that many judges and different organizations. I don't talk bad about, I'm not trying to talk bad about organizations or anything here, but I've been going to 3 days for, you know, 12, 14 years now. I'm trying to keep tabs of the ones that everybody's going to have a bad hunt from now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Every pen's going to have a bad year stuff, but overall, who had to run in to suit my dogs, who had enough people there to look at them, or where even when I got my ass whipped, I thought, you know, the best dog won, or stuff like that. And so I pick them out because at the end of the day, most people on here that know anything about a dog will tell you that if you go multiple day hunt, you can't go to all of them.
You can't. Right.
It ain't gonna happen.
No. I mean, unless you got 100 head of dog and you can swap in and out and choose, you know, what I'm going to take this 10 this week and this 10 the next one and that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, everybody talks shit about the Wizard and everything. He takes, you know, 10, 12 dogs to a hunt, and a week later he's got 10 or 12 of them. He's got a pile of good dogs, you know.
Right.
I don't have that problem, and neither do you.
Right.
If I had all those and I could switch them in and out, you know, I do that. But for me, it's just me. And I mean, I got a couple boys who work for me in the summer and stuff. They help me with dogs and stuff like that, and they're pretty good to me. But I don't have kennel help or just the help. I can't raise and feed that many.
That's right.
People get mad, but hell, if a man's got 10 or 12 heaters and he could take 10 or 12 more to a hunt next weekend, why the hell not?
That's right.
You know, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, daggone right. I know if I had the means to do it, I'd be doing it.
I can't. So I just came off my Canada trip. My dogs won't be back right for probably 6 weeks.
Yeah.
They won't see another hunt for that long.
Right.
I may slip up at a puppy hunt or some shit or something like that, but it ain't gonna be with the ones I took up there because they ain't gonna be right.
Yeah. I mean, hell, I mean, that's, you know, we got 26 head over at the house right now, and you know that's including deer dogs. But as far as field trial dogs go, I mean, we're like 18, you know, something like that, somewhere around that range, and I can't wait for cold season. Yeah. I can't wait to take these damn dogs to the break-in pen and quit feeding that daggone mini. You know, when I was used to, you know, even when I got into this thing, I was used to feeding like 1, 2, 3, you know, dogs at a time. Now we're feeding freaking 26 head over there, and like, golly, man, it's breaking my tail.
In this sport, man, you've got to do it. I mean, I've learned a lot from a lot of people, and it's breed hard and cull harder,
That's
but
right.
nothing to the dogs you cull. Because I mean, I've got a lot of dogs that I've sold to people that, to me they were just a dog, and other people they're phenomenal and
Yep.
they love them, and they deer hunt them and have a blast with them and everything. They call me every deer season, every few months. I ran such and such, and he did this tonight and everything, and I'm tickled for them because of that, and just because they don't work here doesn't mean they can't work there.
Exactly.
And just making somebody happy is, at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, if they're like, I don't know why they feed that and everything. If I'm not feeding it and they're feeding it and they're happy with it, then I really don't give a shit.
That's all that matters.
If you feed it and you like it, more power to you, buddy.
Right. Yep. I agree.
Yep.
But it seems like now, so it seems like this planning out the year thing has worked really well. So, what kind of, obviously, you talked about what the dogs are looking like. So when you have a new group that's coming up, how do you kind of, plan your year out for that new group, for the dogs that are coming fresh off the break-in pen? Are you kind of just throwing them in there if they seem like they fit, or what's kind of your strategy behind that new group?
Man, I've kind of gotten lazy, James. I'll be honest with you. I used to, back when me and MJ hunted together and stuff, and I had a little bit more access, a little bit more time. I'd hunt 2 groups a week, every week, at least once, if not twice.
Right.
And I've gotten lazier. I'd rather spend the time at a dog lot and make sure they're healthy and make sure they feel good. And I've learned this from people that have taught me. I got some great people helping me out, man. I really do. It's not me. I got some great people that, I can call all my buddies and just ask their opinion and they'll give it to me.
Right.
I got mentors that are helping me and stuff, but I've taken a step back on running them as much and taken another step forward on taking care of them and making sure they feel good and make sure they're healthy. But I'm lazy in the aspect that I'll break a group of puppies now. Mm-hmm. I'll run them by themselves 5 or 6 times, and after that, it's trial by fire. I'm taking you in there with the running dogs at Hollywood on Tuesday night.
You better get right or get gone.
Yeah, you get right or get left. It's I'll do that 4 or 5 times, and I'll leave them and not look at them, and then I'll go back in there and I'll look at them when I'm catching up, and I'll be like, this sucker right here can move.
Right.
Because for me, I'm kind of a numbers person when it comes to field trialing. Yeah. You go to Creedmoor or something like that. You go to Creedmoor, Billy's when it's running good, yeah. Or a lot of the pens down here. You go to a national HGA hunt where it's 10-minute intervals. Yeah. 300 is a damn good score most of the time.
Dang, all right.
All right, so you can get 350, which is a great score. You can get that by 10 first-place crossings. Now, that's in 5 hours of running.
Yeah.
10-minute block periods or anything, You got a chance to score, what I can't remember offhand, 800, 900, 1,000 points for a perfect day or something. So we're telling this dog to only bat like a major leaguer and say he gets 10 first-place crossings in the period of 5 hours as the intervals break out. So he's only batting 300, batting 330 or something, which is great for the major leagues. Right. I can go to a small pen like my buddies down there at Triple T or some shit, and in 4 hours I can see 100 crossings.
Right.
Right. If I don't see you on the pole 10 times or something, you ain't had a good day.
That's right.
And that's just me looking at them.
Right.
So I've focused on a dog's move a little bit more than I probably should, but at the end of the day, I want to see that sucker come by me, and you got to be putting out. You got to be athletic. I like an athletic dog because an athletic dog is going to put himself in more positions to get there than a dog that can't move down the road right. Yeah. Now, am I wrong for that? Probably so. I've probably sold a bunch of dogs that can run the shit out of something, but are not as fast or move as fluid as I want.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the eye is in the beholder.
That's right.
Field trialing to me is a lot of luck. There's a whole big difference in a dog at Creedmoor, that puts up 400 a day and a dog that puts up 300 a day.
Right.
Now, that's only 3 other chances of getting lucky.
Yeah.
You do that 3 days in a row, if some bitch puts up 400 a day compared to 300 a day, is going to have a whole lot better weekend most times.
That's right.
But if he's consistent doing that. So I'd rather have a good moving dog that puts himself in that position. You got to be able to run something. You got to have plenty of hours. You got to look good doing it. I can't stand a dog that just don't, look good doing something that he wants to do.
That's right. That's right.
But
And
I do
that's.
trial by.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I do trial by fire for, a couple, 6, 8 times. And I'm not biased. I'll throw them in a puppy hunt or two because running with 15 dogs a night at Hollywood is a whole lot different than going to a field trial with 100 puppies. So
That's right.
most time I'll give them a chance or two and see how they respond, see how they look the next day. And I'll move ones off of that. But I try to give them a decent go. But I'm lazier than I was. I used to run them by themselves till they were 9, 10 months old. And I don't have the time anymore, man.
It's tough, man. It's tough, especially if you don't have a whole lot of help behind you. But that kind you talking about that reminded me of the conversation me and you had earlier this year. I had I had them group of Chrome and Heartbreakers coming up, and I was like, man, I really feel like these dogs are moving really, really well. Like I really like the way these dogs look, and I was like, man. But me being fresh, I mean, I had okay dogs, but I never had nothing that could go out to a 3-day and win a hunt, or if I finished in the top 10 or categoried one, that was great. That was a good weekend for me then. Then I had these Chromes come up, and I'm like, man, these dogs are just different. And I'm like, man, it's hard to see, and I guess that's where I'm getting at is like over time. You learn what to look for in those dogs. And like, me and you had talked about when you have a standard, like you had a dog that you could take and say, okay, I think you look good out there by yourself. Now I want to see you run with this dog. And if you can run with this dog, I know you're great.
I'm a firm believer in 2 phrases that I live by at the kennel. And the first one is iron sharpens iron. Mm-hmm. You take and raise, you have a good group to set the standard by,
right,
and you run the younger ones and stuff like that, they'll either get right or get left.
That's right.
And you'll find out what goes there. Because, I mean, I can take Birthday Cake, Ducati, Fuzzy, Motor, John Deere, Bailey, all them over to the fox pen, and I can hunt them with some young puppies. And I can say, these right here hold their own. Well, I know what those dogs are doing in field trials and stuff, and I'm not saying they're winning every weekend or even finishing in the top 5, but they're competing.
Right.
So I know that these young dogs can compete with that. And the second thing that I live by is everybody thinks they got a fast dog until you run with a fast dog.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones that I've heard.
You talk to everybody that listens to the podcast and everybody that deer hunts and everybody that does this and does that. Oh, such and such, he run the hell out or something, and he can do this and he can do that. I got humbled many years ago. I got humbled, last weekend when I got beat in Canada because I went up there to win. I've never won in Canada. Let me preface it by that. I've never went up there. I've been humbled more times than I've humbled people.
Right.
You take a fast dog that you think is fast and go run with your buddies that compete all the time, and they'll show you something that's faster or better. I'll never forget. I went to the Invitational. I don't know if I've been going to the Invitational for a while. That's like my hunt, man. I love that hunt. That's the only reason I run dogs is to get them qualified to go to that hunt to try to win jackets. And I've been fortunate enough, and I've won that hunt, but I'll be damned if I don't want to do it again. That's probably the only thing keeping me going in this. But I've run with Cash Flow. Thompson's Abilene. I've run with Colby's Chrome 2. I've run with Colby's, Who That's Roxanne. I've run with a pile of fast dogs. A lot of these boys that say they've got a fast dog, they just haven't run with a fast dog. Right. But I never forget 5 or 6 years ago, I went to the Invitational and ran against B&B's Little Pearl down at Creedmoor. And, I mean, the Gyp just put an absolute clinic on for 2 or 3. I mean, every time you saw the Gyp, she was in the front by 75 yards. And if she wasn't, she was going to be there very shortly. And I went back home and went to the drawing board. I said, I got to figure something out because this shit ain't working. B&B's Little Slipper. Probably one of the fastest foot speed dogs. And I'm fortunate. I've got a little dog that I got from Chad Perkins, my buddy. Little Mule's Ducati. She's getting a little age on her now, but that Gyp right there at 1.5, 2 years old was by far one of the fastest foot speed dogs that I've seen. And that shit gets me going. I love seeing a dog run 110 miles an hour.
We're going to take a quick second here and interrupt this episode and let you all know about our friends over at Southern Hound Hunting Magazine. Do you enjoy reading stories from houndsmen across the country, diving into real-life experiences out there in the woods with working hounds of every kind? Deer dogging, bear dogging, hog dogging, small game dogging, you name it, the Southern Hound Hunting Magazine has it. And it's bringing it to you page after page while also spreading a positive image of this beautiful sport that we all love. Be sure to sign up today, and for just $15 a year, you can have quarterly magazines filled with nothing but dog hunting sent right to your door. Check them out today at southernhoundhunting.com and get in the hunt. Let's get back to the episode.
But the only thing that I can say for all these people, and I've done better at it, is I used to get so fired up about it and put on Facebook, I was 12th at puppy hunt today, 64 dogs and everything, is pump the brakes a little bit and look back. And it's great for the sport, putting the stuff out there and stuff like that.
Right.
But to an extent, but you can't say you the man and I'm this and I'm looking action and stuff like that until you go run with somebody who's had action and is doing action.
Right.
and see, everybody says they got a fast dog until they run with a fast dog.
That's right.
And I mean this for everybody listening and everything. I don't for me say I got the fastest dog. I think that I got a few dogs that move pretty well.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of boys out there that have dogs that I think, can run with the best of them in a straight line or left, right, and center.
Yep.
I applaud a man with a fast dog, and I'll go shake his hand because at the end of the day, I've gotten used to wanting to see that sucker run very fast, but be behind a piece of game doing it.
Right. And the Invitational is a huge goal of mine too. You've talked about that a couple times. I'm 110% going this year. That is 100%. I've already got it marked off on the calendar, planned out, going.
Mm-hmm.
But what you were just talking about too. Another goal of mine. Getting into the sport and showing up to hunts. And looking, and when you see certain trucks roll up, and you're like, oh shit, they're here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to strike into people when I come up to a hunt.
I'm telling you, man, that's all I've been trying to do for years now. And I'll be honest with you, I've been doing it, like I said, 15, 16 years. It's probably been 15 or 16 years that people see me roll up and think that's a duck right there, and I ain't got to outrun him. And that's great, but that's the only thing I'm trying to do.
That's right.
When I go to a hunt, I'm looking around and I see the 3 or 4 or 5 people that I don't want to see there, and I'm like, I got to outrun them.
That's right.
I hope one day people will think that that's me, but and a lot of them, I hate to say it, are my damn buddies.
Right.
Damn, 2 years ago, we got a damn Snapchat group. Me and my buddies from Slide Up and Run. It's a lot of us. It's Cash Flow.
Yeah.
Who Dat, Hall Tree, WC Easter, the Burnside boys, the damn Clyburns, all of them boys have won everywhere.
Yep.
They've won top to bottom, south, north, east, west. They've done it.
Right.
I hate to say it, they're good buddies of mine, but I'll be damned if then I show up to a hunt sometimes I'm like, son of a bitch.
Right.
I wish they weren't here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I hope one day that people think of me like that.
Right.
I do fairly well in my home drag, and I haven't won, I've won a few. I've won my fair share here and there, but at the end of the day, that's what I want to be. No matter where I show up, I want somebody to be worried that I'm there. And I don't really want somebody. I want everybody to be worried.
That's right. And I don't think that's a biggity thing. I think that's just something that you're like, that's what we work to. That's what we work. We want to competing. We don't compete to just go out there and compete. We're not running street stocks on a Saturday night to go have fun.
That's right.
We're out there to win the freaking Sprint Cup championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I'm out there to have fun, but my edition of having fun is beating your ass.
That's
regardless.
Right.
Your fun and my fun may be different, but I can tell you what my fun consists of.
That's right. That ride home's a whole lot better when you're coming home with a little hardware.
Damn right.
Oh shit. So what's the next few years looking like for you? I know you said you got, the kids, get ready to, they're of course they've always been a big part of your life, but with travel ball and sports and stuff like that, and them growing up, and I know that's taken a big step. So as far as field trialing goes, what's your next couple of years looking like for you? Do you kind of know, what's your idea behind it?
Man, I'll be honest with you, I am stuck in a rock between a hard place.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever give up. I don't think I'll ever give it up.
Mm-hmm.
And the bad thing about me is that if I'm gonna do it, I've got to do it. You
Right.
know, I've learned now, and I've had so many people help me. I've had some big influences the past few years that have led to my success,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I'd be letting them down if I walked away.
Right.
I don't see me walking away, but I can tell you one thing that I talked to a couple good buddies of mine. One of them I asked, a few years back when Power Drive, David Wayne and them made the
Yeah.
run at B&B Kennels and beat them for Kennel of the Year. I
Yeah.
asked him, I said, looking back, man, would y'all have done anything different? And he said, and I like shit out of David Wayne. He's funny as hell. But I asked him because he was in the thick of it. I said, would you have done anything different? He said on the backside looking in, we would have taken the same amount of dogs to less hunts, gone to the bigger hunts, more prestigious, with our gun fully cocked instead of going to so many half cocked.
Right.
So
That makes
I
sense.
see, man, because I'll be honest with you, my buddy Football Thompson too from Cashflow, he's fortunate as hell. He's got Catfish helping him because Catfish running dogs, 6 days a week, 7 days if you had to, and I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But Football's coaching his little girl in softball. He's got his wife coaching another team. I enjoy the shit out of that and my girl playing ball.
Right.
I want to be there for that. I'm probably going to step back more. And like when me and MJ were hunting real hard, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I went to like 2019. I had a great year, man. I was with Whiskey Creek that year, but I think by myself, I'd have been 10th or 11th kennel of the year.
Right.
I placed like 9 or 10 dogs that year.
Right.
I made a couple dual champions, a bench champion, all that. I'm probably going to kick back and just try to pick 5 good hunts.
Yep.
And have my pistol fully loaded for those. And I'll go to some puppy hunts and some one days around the house. But
right.
the big trips, man, I miss my family too much to be gone 4 or 5 days anymore. So I might do 1 trip a year. And besides that, I'll hunt around the house. But I'll pick, 4 good multi-day hunts, 4 or 5 good multi-day hunts and do that. I don't foresee myself quitting. I don't think I've got that in me.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate enough to have enough, not great dogs, but I've got a steady income of pretty good dogs that make hunting fun when I do go.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I'll have to hang on to it, and it's the one thing that Jaybird's told you, Bird's at the top and everything. I'm nowhere close to the top. Don't think I am, but if it's a 10-ring ladder, I might be around the 5th ring. It's you ain't got so much room and you're gonna come back down. Well, the biggest thing is if you let the gas pedal off a little bit, you ain't got no choice but to go down.
Yeah, you're gonna fall real quick.
Damn right.
Right. Yep.
That's what I see, man. I think I keep the same amount of dogs, maybe a few less. I'll never get out. I'll deer hunt like hell. I still enjoy the shit out of that. I have more fun deer hunting with my buddies than I do getting dogs ready for a field trial nowadays, which is bad, but I love seeing a dog work, and just the way we run with the schedules we run, I don't really have the chance to do that, which is good for my work schedule, good for my home schedule, but bad for me having fun watching a dog run,
Right. Yeah, I get that. And it's tough too, and you made a good point about if you got out, or if you let off the gas. I've seen horror stories and heard horror stories about people that, that it got too much and they got out, sold everything. When you do that, I mean, you're restarting whenever you start and you come back. If you can find some kind of way to idle, not necessarily, you don't have to cut the engine off, but if you
That's right.
if you can keep the gas and, pack the gas every now and then, keep it warmed up and keep that engine warm, you don't have to restart completely. And I mean, it's just, I couldn't imagine trying to rebuild again, working this hard. And, I mean, even you've been in it for 15, 16 years now. And I mean, could you imagine trying to restart again?
No, it wouldn't be no fun, man.
Right.
I always used to make fun of Derek back in the day because he got on this spiel about breeding his own dogs and his gyps. And I mean, back then, and I mean, it was probably the case, but I never thought I had anything in my kennel that was worth breeding or trying to get puppies off and stuff until whenever, Black Bear, I always bred my gyps But I was even lenient on that instead of going and buying a puppy. But Derek was big on that, and I'm big on that now, man. I like to run a dog. You know, John Deere, Ducati, Fuzzy, they exceptions. They good dogs. I've had really good luck with them. But on the most part, man, I like my name to be on one side of that damn pedigree.
That's right.
And and that part of it's fun for me. I like the little mule. I like seeing their mama and their daddy's names get called again and stuff like that. But I don't think I could go. If I went fully, you know, cold turkey and jumped out to everything, I'd never get back in just because I feel like you're at such a disadvantage, and it taking me so long to get to the little point, the little status that I've got.
Yep.
I couldn't. You know, I'd have to stay here. So regardless, I think one of my buddies up in Canada, his daughter started playing hockey and stuff like that. Eden Paulson, he kept a couple brood gyps and just bred them once every other year and kept a puppy or two out of them and didn't even really hunt like talking about for years, and then was able to get back in just a few years ago. And I mean, he's competitive as shit now. I mean, when he shows up there, he's hard to handle.
Right.
But he did enough to keep it going instead of getting out completely, you know?
Yep. I think that's how you have to do it. You know, next year, you know, just me personally, and you know us. I don't know what next year looks like, but I'm kind of on the same boat as you. You know, the All-American is one for next year that I have 110% on the radar. That is going to be my big trip of the year. I don't care if that's the only hunt I do all freaking year. The Hounds Tales podcast has teamed up with First Form Outdoors to get behind the hunters. Yes, that's right, the hunters. We as houndsmen put so much focus on our dogs that sometimes we forget to focus on our own selves and our health. Whether you're in the woods racing to get in front of that big buck chase or in the wire for 5 hours catching crossings up and down the path, we are constantly draining our bodies all day long. First Form offers energy drinks, hydration products, protein snacks, and other supplements to get us back up and going while we are doing what we love. Show yourself some love and visit firstform.com, and that's the number 1stphorm.com to check these guys out. And from here on out at all hunts, I will have products available for purchase. If you have any requests that you see when you visit firstform.com, feel free to contact me and place an order, and we'll make that happen. Now, back to the episode. But that's one I 110% want to go to. But I'm kind of like you, man. It's like next year it may just be kind of a kickback year. Let's get settled in. Let's take care of a few things around the home 20 and make sure, you know, hit a couple little small hunts every now and then. You know, I don't miss the Hollywood 2 days for nothing if I got something that's eligible to run. But, you know, sometimes you got to do that.
I mean, that's, you know, I tell my wife, I've got an amazing wife that's able to put up with me doing this shit and stuff. But even when my daughter was really young, I hunted like hell. And I told her, I said, look, I need to do this now. I said, I got a few dogs that are worth competing with, and I enjoy it, and I'm having a ball doing it. And another thing, too, is financial standpoint, man. That's one thing that I ain't really harped on, but I'm fortunate enough now. I'm not rich by any means, but I'm not going and field trialing with the light bill money.
Right.
If you know, take care of your personal stuff first. And the biggest thing I can say, anybody that's listening, is take care of your dogs first instead of going to a hunt.
Yep.
If you're taking a dog to a hunt that's wormy or, you know, just not in the best health and everything, your gains ahead to put that $50, $100, $75, $40, $30, whatever the hell it is, put it in your pocket. Take care of the dog more.
Right.
Skip the hunt and go to the next one.
Yep.
Because I've learned by that. I mean, I was taught the hard way that everybody can go hunting 5 days a week. Everybody wants to compete, but if you're not taking care of them at the house, you're losing anyways.
That's right.
But
That's right.
but I'm fortunate enough that the light bill money doesn't feed my dogs. It's a hobby. It's solely a hobby. You know, not addicted to it. I can, you know, still pay all my bills, have a good time, and do whatever I want. But you can't get crazy with it. You got to spend to your means. You got to have fun. But I told my wife, I said, I've got to do it now because here we are 8 years later. She wants to play ball, and I'm not going to not let her play ball because Dita's running a dog.
That's right.
So
that's right.
I'm going to pick my poison, pick my battles. I'm still going to hunt.
Yep.
Not going to hunt as hard as I used to. I'm going to try to hunt as good as I can.
Yep.
And just pick my poison, pick my hunts, and go from there.
I can respect that. I respect that a lot. I respect that a ton, man. want to take a second and talk about Frontline Optics real quick, guys. They are a sunglasses company that is owned and operated by frontline workers, fires, and emergency services, guys. They have designed glasses with us in mind, with the frontline workers in mind, people that are out there using your sunglasses every day and don't want to break the bank and have a pair of sunglasses get broke and have to and just be out of that that crazy amount of money. Guys, these are high quality polarized sunglasses that are durable, affordable, and ultimately represent our lifestyle. In addition to that, a portion of all proceeds from the sale of these glasses is donated to First Responders Children's Foundation. It is in support of those children who have lost a parent in the line of duty. How cool is that, guys? So, guys, check these guys out, frontlineoptics.com. Go to their website, and when you go to checkout, be sure to type in the promo code HoundsTales. That's TALES while you check out, and you'll receive 15% off your first purchase. Also, these guys have a first-time replacement, no questions asked program. Be sure to check that out, guys. These guys are awesome. I can't thank them enough for jumping on board, and we'll get back to the show. So we're getting close to the end of this thing, brother, and this has been great, and I've really enjoyed this one, man. So, we'll get to our
Yes.
I always do the closing topics, and the one that you chose was, what can we do as houndsmen to save the tradition of dog hunting? What's kind of your idea and your thought process on that, man?
Oh man, I'm sorry, I'm reading a damn email in between. I'm sorry.
You're good, brother. You're good.
I have thought about this a whole lot in the past couple of years or something, because I've seen it I'm not big politically, I can tell you that. You, J-Mo, a few others, man, y'all do what y'all can. Y'all go to all the events and the fundraisers and stuff. At the end of the day, a man doesn't have but so many hours.
That's right.
I run the business. I try to hunt a few dogs that I can when I can.
That's right.
I try to have as much fun as I can with my family and work. I've just got a full plate. The biggest thing I could say to try and save it is it's bad because there's a lot of people on here that are in the stage that I was 10 years ago, where I was 8 slam up with this shit. Like, this is all that I did. I lived it. I breathed it. I woke up thinking dogs. I went to bed thinking dogs. Is keep it that way and leave it more off of social media. Yeah. Like, I've gotten to the point now where, I can't lie. I posted on social media last week about the hunt I had in Creed in Canada, but hell, I placed 5 dogs, made a bench champion. I think that's the best showing I've ever had.
That's right.
I've won. I placed 2 dogs. I placed 3 dogs. I ain't never placed 5 dogs at a hunt. Right. So I was fired up about it. But even with that, I left the pictures off of there. I left the videos off of there.
Right.
I left that stuff off of there. If you want to be inspirational, or you want to say something for the next generation, or show people your admiration, grab a kid, take them hunting. Grab your family, take them hunting. But the best thing I can tell you is grab your friends and take them hunting, because that's the only reason I got into this stuff is my buddies. Without them doing it, I'd have never known about this shit.
Yep.
It wasn't Facebook that got me into it. It wasn't that. It was the fact that I was stupid enough to want to have a few dogs and raise them up myself. And then I was a terrible dog man. You're not a terrible dog man. I just didn't know what the hell I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing. But I have more fun with my friends going and doing one of these grudge hunts.
Yeah.
Twice a year or something that we do, and talking smack to each other and hanging out, or while the dogs are running a field trial, playing cards and drinking a few beers, than I do anything else. It's one thing for the dogs, and if you think they're fire, that's great.
Right.
Tell your buddy. You don't have to tell the world, because a lot of that shit they just use as ammunition back against us, and it's solely because people don't know. They have no idea.
Yeah.
I was getting fuel in New York on the way back from Canada, and I had a guy ask me 6 or 7 random ass questions, and I just told him, "Yeah, man, we're hunting coyotes on the outside." And he said, "I hope you get every one of them." And I said, "I hope not, because then I won't have nothing to run."
Right.
And I chose not to tell him about the sport, not because I didn't want to inform him, but to keep the light away from what we didn't need it to be.
That's right. That's right.
The sport's great. The camaraderie is phenomenal.
Yep.
I mean, the friends and stuff that I've got through this sport are bar none. I mean, I got people from Canada to Georgia that I can call if I'm on the side of the road. And I mean, I've done that before. My dumb ass has run out of gas.
Yeah.
And I've called a fox hunter that I know in the middle of Carolina. And they came and gave me fuel just because I know them from this.
Yep.
But I knew them from field trialing, not so much from Facebook. I'm not saying that you can't take social media and use it to your advantage, but use it more for meeting people instead of explaining how you placed a dog 12th this weekend or to something, or to 26 or some shit like that, and just posting a video of a dog running a piece of game or something, because it's great for the people that know, and they'll see your dogs and understand everybody being happy and being proud, because if you put all this time and effort into it, that's what you want.
That's right.
But
that's right.
Take a step back from the recognition and take a step forward for the sport and call your buddy and say, hey, man, such and such had him in a wheelbarrow, this evening, making him go left or right. Tell them that. You don't have to show everybody, because the 173 people that see it online, 73 of them ain't got a damn clue what they're looking at.
That's right. That's right. And one of those people could possibly take it the wrong way.
That's all it takes, man. Yep. That's all most of the problems we have in the world now is somebody taking the shit the wrong way. You don't mean to offend them or anything. And if you do, sometimes shit on them, they probably need to be offended. But if we want to keep the sport, we want to keep the sport going in the direction it is. We got enough people in it now to network it and get newer people and younger generation in it.
Yep.
Leave the good stuff on there. We donated 100,000 from this hunt, the LeBron or whoever. That's great. That shit's awesome. All that should be on there. You posted everything you've got, but if you got a video of running a darn red fox 36 yards behind him and boo-hooing him and slipping and missing, we don't need to see that shit. And that's my opinion and solely mine. People can take it and do what they want to with it. Yep.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that, brother. I'm with you on that. And you made a great point too about the whole, the houndsmen are going to look out for the houndsmen. It literally happened today. I needed to ride back from work. I had a car I had to leave at work, and I made just a post on Facebook. And guess who stepped up? A fellow houndsman.
There you go.
Come up here to get me and went out of his way and took me all the way back to the house. I could not give him a dime with nothing I could give him. He just did it out of kind of his heart. Logan Royal, big shout out to you, buddy.
There you
go. But that's just kind of people we are. But no, I respect that a lot, and I think you make a lot of good points in what you just said there. I forgot who I was having the conversation with, and I remember who it was, but I'm big on trying to promote the ethical side on Facebook and social media and stuff like that. But you're 100% right, man. It's like, and that's what I try to tell people all the time. I said, if you look at a video and think for 1 second, like, I wonder if anybody would take this the wrong way. If you think for a second that if that even thought had to cross your mind, you're better off to just not even post it.
Oh, that's right. And I mean, 98% of the shit I see on here, the videos and pictures and stuff, they're fine.
Right.
But the 2% that's not, and the people that see that, man, if they got, because there's a big difference in a running dog, a working dog, and a pet.
That's right.
A lot of people take that in a misconstrued sense.
Yep.
That's one thing that I've kind of stepped back on and just not done it, because I don't want to leave that gray area.
That's right. That's right.
Because then you've got to explain, because, I mean, I'm a firm believer in, I mean, even my pet, I got a golden retriever here at the house, and I mean, he's lazy as shit, but he's in shape. He's in shape. He looks in shape. Right. But to some people, he may not look like a pet.
That's right.
And that's just you're better off sending that stuff to your buddies. But at the end of the day, man, I can attribute fox hunting to, I think the last thing you put on here was like shout out to people or anything.
Yeah.
Shout out to all my friends fox hunting, man. I've got some great buddies that I went to school with. I mean, I consider you a good friend of mine. We went to school. Luckily, we've reconnected back through dogs and everything. Yeah. I mean, I've got the best buddies of mine, Dylan Fanny, Jason Gillum, all the boys I went to school with. They don't give a shit about a dog. Right. I have just as good of friends, if not some of my best friends, that I've met solely from this sport.
Yep.
I've got Catfish, Colby Taylor, Brett Clyburn, Vince Clyburn, all those boys, they'd take a bullet for me tomorrow.
That's right.
You know, I could call them, broke down on the side of the road, 37 minutes from my house and an hour and a half from theirs, and they'd come to the house and help me. Or at least I say they would. They'd probably talk a bunch of shit about it,
Right.
but I think they'd come get me.
They're going to give you hell the whole time,
You know?
but they're going to come and get you.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hell, yeah. I mean, hell, Chad Perkins done more for me down in Hollywood. Justin Scott. I mean, I'm going to forget 30 people, and they're going to get pissed off, and that's fine. But all these people mean the world to me because they've helped me out, you know, for better or for worse. Or the biggest thing is that they've taught me something.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
I've learned from so many people. And, I mean, some people I won't say because I don't want y'all going and finding out who's telling me how to win and shit like that. But
right. Can't give away all the
because, I mean, my
secrets,
dumb ass, my dumb ass didn't learn it. You know, I can tell you that. My dumb ass didn't learn it all by myself. I had a whole bunch of people showing me a great way. But
that's right.
The friendships that I've made in this sport over the past 15, 16 years, I mean, I've got people that I ain't seen in 10 years even talked to that I ran a dog with. That if I saw them in the store, we could chirp back up and start like we never missed, you know?
Yep.
And that shit you can't put away. That's one of the biggest things that I will take back from the sport always. And to the day I die is the people that I've hunted with, I've made a pile of friendships with, man.
Yep. I like that. And it's so true too. I mean, I go back and look at the call log or text log on the phone or whatever you want to call it, and I'll look back and probably 95% of those are houndsmen. You know, good friends that I've made from hound hunting, you know, and just being able to talk to them guys. And yeah, you're 100% right. 100% right.
Yeah.
But, man, this has been great, man. This has been awesome. And like I said at the beginning of this thing, it was long overdue. I'm glad we finally got to do this, man.
I think you've been on me for 2 years or doing this shit or whatever you would. Yeah, and I'm sorry, man. I'm a busy man, and I'm glad I took the time out. I've enjoyed it. I thoroughly have, and now you won't have to bug me about it. We can say it's over and done with. And
that's right.
5 years from now, if you got it going again, we'll do a part 2.
That's right. We'll keep it going. We'll talk about how we made it through the hump of raising kids and still field trialing.
Yeah. Yeah, if we live that long.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Well, man, I thoroughly have enjoyed this. I want to thank you again. Good luck to you here in the next. I guess your next hunt's probably going to be the second 2-day at Hollywood.
Yeah, I plan on heading there with a few of these colds. It's their home drag. If I get lucky enough, I can place one, but we'll see how it is.
That's right. Don't be too hard on me in the field when I'm running the first one. All right.
No problem, buddy.
Right.
You take care. Hey, and we'll talk to you soon, all right?
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, buddy. And everybody out there listening, thank y'all so much. Don't forget to like, share away, and like always, guys, happy hunting.